You need to try and pick off the units as look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IGN Pro League Season 2. I bring you the one and only Evil Genius's IdrA. He is in the green trunks and he is playing Zerg on the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent. It's Nerchio. He is in the blue trunks and he is also playing Zerg to the southwest.
And Nerchio is so good online right now. I don't think that a lot of people understand how good he is. He is winning so much. He's winning everything he enters right now. Unstoppable force. And he is coming against the Kraken.
The Kraken, indeed.
Be able to beat him in such a prestigious tournament such as IPL?
It's a big deal if he wins this. This is going to be his biggest win pretty much ever. You know, he won the Shoutcraft Invitational 1, which was already a big win for him in terms of prize money. It was a big event against players that are very well known. I think that really introduced Nerchio to a lot of the Europeans and to the Americans as well, who perhaps didn't know him as well. I've known him back from when he used to play Random.
Yeah,
and that was a while ago. Yeah, I saw him play Protoss, and he actually did really well as that. But he actually settled on Zerg. He decided that Zerg was the race for him. And he has been proving everybody wrong, I think, up until this point. His ZVZ and his ZV everything is fantastic.
And he's sending out a 12 drone here to scout and to also, I think the timing of it is to deny an expansion. It will deny a 15 hatch. I don't think it would deny a 13 or 14. But we'll have to see. I mean, IdrA is not sending anything down yet. Okay, there comes a drone.
Yep. There you go, and that's the denial right there, and Nerchio will at least gain a little bit of an edge in this matchup as a result of that. It's obvious that IdrA wanted to do that, and he's had to then go to a spawning pool, which of course his spawning pool is now a good 20 seconds behind. So Nerchio has opportunities there.
Yeah, Nerchio's a drone ahead as well because IdrA was saving up money, but nevertheless, this drone is still harassing around, denying that expansion for as long as possible. It's taking a few hits though.
Oh yeah, he might end up losing this if he's not careful, since every time he turns around he gets nibbled at, so that's not particularly nice. He's got very little left on the drone right now. He can take one more hit and then he must leave. He has no choice in the matter. And off he goes, and there's no way he's going to be able to catch that. So that was a good bit of delaying action going on right there.
Yeah, and IdrA squeezes in the hatchery just before an Overlord's going to have to get an Overlord ASAP. Overlord is in production so that he can get the Queen. The Queen is going to be a little bit delayed now, just by a few seconds until he has the resources to do so. And there we go. Actually, he's going to go for a Roach one before the Queen here very early.
Interesting. And what do you think he's going to be able to do with that, more to the point?
Well, I guess, he's scouted. What has he scouted so far? Let's look at IdrA's vision. He's seen that there's no expansion up yet. He's seen that there is the spawning pool and gas. He knows that circling speed could well be a follow-up from here and be a lot of aggressive builds. So we can go ahead and get some roaches out to deny that, deny any bailings, and also can block the ramp.
Yep, and he has now seen the expansion, and there are a few Zerglings moving across, and there are no Zerglings up just yet for IdrA, so he can poke, he can scout, he can't do a huge amount of damage, I don't believe, with this, but he's going for it anyway, charging his way up the ramp right now, and he's going to meet forward. It's going to be a little bit of a micro battle going on right here.
And let's see who comes on top. Both players are running around. Nerchio is getting scanning information, sees the Roach Warren, sees there's nothing in gas at the moment.
There you go. He goes in and he gets the first blood right there. Nice little play. And he comes out of that one victorious. Not that it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but the first minor victory in this game.
Indeed. And now we have a follow-up from Nerchio. He's going to throw down his own Roach Warren since he scouted that. Doesn't want to add on Bailing Nest or anything. And looks like Nerchio just gets away with that. And another Queen in production for IdrA now in his mains. He transfers that one down. Can use the Queen and a few roaches that are about to pop out to block the ramp if necessary, if any forward aggression comes, but IdrA does have Overlords in position on the outskirts of Nerchio's base there and can see if anything comes down.
Yep, we get a lot of useful information there. That Roach Warren's still in progress right here for Nerchio. The metabolic boost upgrade for Speedlings he is about to complete. He'll be able to do another run by to see if he can get any more scouting information, but he's not going to find a huge amount in there. And there's the speed. He might go in, he may not. IdrA is getting very, very threatening right here with those roaches. It would be good for Nerchio to actually scout the roach count right here. And he does so. He's away, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. And he can have a look at the drone count. He can have a look at how much gas is being taken. He's still on 1 gas.
And he can see that there's no Evo chamber or anything early on, so he knows that all the money, he can see that speed is now being researched as well, so he knows where all the money is, basically. And it looks like Nerchio actually forgot to get a Queen on his main, and now only starts it now, so he's going to fall a little bit behind with Lava. and the energy of that build-up, but okay, it's okay, it's manageable, though he's going to fall a little bit behind. As you can see, the food count 45 for IdrA, 41 for Nerchio now.
It's always a bit dangerous to make even small mistakes. Kind of like PvP, you'll find that Zerg versus Zerg is very knife edge, and hey, here's some freebies right here, and he nabs them quite nicely, and no scouting information for you, I'm afraid.
Evo chambers going down for both players. Exact timing on that. The front of the natural so that you can block and so on using that Evo chamber, and also be able to get that +1 attack range out ASAP. And now we do have that queen finally up for Nerchio. It's getting a little bit high with the energy. 32, 33, needs to lava inject. A few mistakes here from Nerchio, but look at his overload position in the middle of the map. Direct line to IdrA's base. He sees everything that comes down that ramp and everything that comes towards him. Really nice positional play.
It's good stuff, indeed. And as they stay on roaches for the moment, they're not going to be having anything to threaten those overlords, except, of course, for an errant queen. We'll find out if that happens. Another Vespine being grabbed right here. That's actually 3 gas now for Nerchio, and IdrA's also picking up his 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to get a lot of drones out now, so you can go ahead and make sure your resource balance is equal and add on these gases now. Start going to layer soon, and we see Nerchio already taking initiative, is on layer, and IdrA not too far behind, but has gone as well. Both players will be looking to get the Overlord, Overlord Overseer, and be adding on the +2 melee, not melee, sorry, the range attack ASAP, and be looking for that infestation pit, so important.
Yep, and a good little run by right here by IdrA, who is able to scout everything, including the layer timing, and of course there's the roach. So he knows all about this. This is great information to have, and at the moment they're pretty much equal, except for the fact that IdrA does have a stronger economy of 53 drones to 45.
Oh, that's actually a big lead, 10 already. That's really nice for IdrA. And now 2 links come in for Nerchio. Oh, one gets in there, sees the macro hatch.
Sneaky, yes. Now that's some useful information. Of course, a macro hatchery very expensive, and it will give him the advantage later on, but perhaps there is an opportunity there.
And IdrA's got a lot of money too. He can maybe take a 3rd base soon. We'll have to see how that is. Both players thrown down that fast infestation pit. We'll want to get the Panathen Glands ASAP so they can get these infestors out. And looks like Nerchio moving out with a bunch of roaches and a drone.
Looking to take his 3rd, maybe?
Yeah, just deny any links that are trying to prevent that. If there is any, there are none there for IdrA, so we can Nerchio can go ahead and take that quite safely.
Yep, nice grab right there, and I would imagine that IdrA will try and follow up with one of his own at some point. In the not too distant future, we do have an Overlord from IdrA moving over, and it will scout the timing. And nicely done by then, and I would imagine a reactionary play right here from IdrA, who will expand, and indeed he has just done that.
Yeah, he's gone ahead and expanded. Using his Overlords to spread creep, doesn't really want to use Queen Energy, he'd much rather put them into the Lava Inject. And the same for Nerchio. I mean, he hasn't really got creep connecting to anywhere because of roach speed and so on. The roaches are fast enough as it is, you don't really need creep. Even though it's good for scouting as you can control more of the map, but it's more important to get those extra units out, most definitely. 100 food for Nerchio at the moment, 95 for IdrA, looking at the unit count. Still 57 drones for IdrA, 52 versus Nerchio. But Nerchio, look at that, that's so good to take the double extractors before the hatchery finishes, so you can go immediately into gas. Gas is so important in this matchup, it's good for upgrades, it's good for infestors.
Speaking of
nice.
infestors, actually, this timing is looking a little bit off right here, I would think. These infestors are actually going to finish before the pathogen glands for IdrA. That could be critical. And in the meantime, we've got a massive charge. Roach on roach action coming in. Equal upgrades for both. And IdrA trying to defend against this as best he can. And of course, needless to say, Nerchio does not want to go in there against that spine crawler. He's going to go maybe pick away at this 3rd base.
Infestor, look, it's only got 56 energy.
Oh
Came
my.
out before Panathen Glands.
That's not good. That's not good at all. That fungal growth could have made a big difference in this engagement, and it looks like that's not going to happen. The timing for IdrA was a little bit off there, and that can be risky.
And now Nerchio's taking position on the higher ground. And
oh, it's good as well.
Nice.
I mean, he ends up eating a fungal growth from the 2nd infestor there, so that's not very nice at all. But because of the concave he's got on the high ground, he's got much better arcs of fire than IdrA, and as a result, the smaller force is actually beating IdRA's roaches.
And meanwhile, more roaches streaming in now, and it looks like he's going to try and pick off these infestors.
Nice shot right there. He nails it down.
Yeah.
Oh, he takes the 2nd as well, so very nicely done, and there will be no more fungal growth for a little while right here. Once again, trying to hold this line, and IdrA IdrA still with a bad arc of fire, and Nerchio, now IdrA finally deciding he wants to go up the ramp, but losing a ton of roaches in the process.
And he hasn't got into gas yet. That's going to really hinder his infestors, are going to hinder his roach production. Meanwhile, Nerchio has. So really looking good for Nerchio now. Look at the unit tab. Even though IdrA's got so many drones, 68 drones, he just doesn't have the gas count. You can see in these resources, 1,000 to 100. Finally goes in gas now, but Nerchio pushing through with more roaches and infestors here.
Big damage coming in right here, and that's a great fungal growth grab. And Nerchio with a good engagement, very decisive, wipes out one single group, then goes for the second, trying to surround it. He needs to nail down that. He didn't nail it down quite before the fungal went in, which was unfortunate. Admittedly, he can soak that up. Roach is very, very tough, and a supply block right here for Nerchio as he ends up losing that. And there we go.
Okay. IdrA left. That's fine. He's lost the third base, I suppose. He's lost the queen, he's lost all the drones.
I mean, I don't think there's any real question that he'd lost there. I mean, it was 28 roaches to 8 at the end of that, plus 2 infestors. There was no follow-up to that whatsoever. So Nerchio keeping pace and once again dictating the tempo of the game, which is what he's best at.
Yeah, that was really nice play from Nerchio. Really surprising result, though. I thought IdrA would have taken this down. My favorite is still IdrA to take the series, but Nerchio's shown us why, that he's #1 Zerg in Europe right now.
His CBC is scary, folks, and we'll be finding out just how scary it really is as we go into Game 2. Will IdrA be able to pull it back and equalize the series? We'll find out very shortly, folks. You're watching the IGN Pro League Season 2 with myself, Total Biscuit.
And me, D Apollo.
We'll be back in just a few short moments. Don't go anywhere.